Hey everybody, welcome to NZ Pocket Guide New Zealand Travel Show. Today we're going to be answering all your questions about traveling in New Zealand. We are live from New Zealand on the 24th of April 2022. And you guys are already busy in the live chat asking us questions, so a quick introduction first.
Okay, so this is Robin and I'm Laura and we're the team behind NZPocketGuide.com, which is New Zealand's largest travel guide because it has thousands and thousands of articles to help you plan the perfect trip to New Zealand now that the borders are soon to be open to everyone from a visa waiver country, which is pretty exciting. So now is the time to start planning your trip to New Zealand on NZPocketGuide.com, which is 100% free for you guys to use. But if you're not really into reading, this is what our live travel show is all about. You guys can come onto the live chat and ask your New Zealand travel questions directly to the experts, and we will answer everything that we can on the live chat.
Here you go. So as per usual, guys, I know there is a lot of people which are a bit new to the live show today. We are reading every comment. We're just going in order. So if we don't read your comment, that just means that we're still a little bit higher. So bear with us. All right, so this morning started really early with Robert Laliberte, straight from Canada. And he says, okay, you dropped the gauntlet, mister. The tourtière is not just a meat pie. From a country that thinks that pork belly pie is a delicacy, that's like saying that the Mona Lisa is just a picture. Neanderthals. How do you want to settle this? Dueling pistols or sword? Then we could put an end to this discussion. So I don't know if you guys remember, but last week we did have a big discussion about pies, New Zealand pies, and it's actually also the theme of the question of the day. I'm going to go over that in a minute. But Robert is wrong. The tortilla pie is just a meat pie. He's just on his high horse because, you know, in Canada it's a delicacy over there. But that's okay. We in New Zealand know everything about pies. So here you go. Anyway, just some friendly banter. All right, but that's a good transition to the question of the day. So every single week we put a question in the live chat for you guys to answer in the poll. So go ahead and check what we have for you today. Question of the day. Question of the day. Yeah, it's the question of the day. What is it? The question of the day. All right, guys, this week we are asking you, what is your favorite? What's the best type of pie to get during a road trip in New Zealand? When you stop at the local gas station and you grab a pie, what do you want to get? Do you want to get yourself a mince pie? Do you want to get yourself a butter chicken pie, a steak and pepper pie, or a pork and apple sauce pie? There's already 14 of you guys that are voting, and mince pie is winning by quite a significant margin right now. So if you don't like mince pie, go ahead and vote for something better. All right, and Robin's fish pie is not on there, so yeah, that settles last week. Yeah. All right, what is Anthony Comstock, one of our lovely Patreon, saying?
We have Anthony saying, I'm going to listen, but I may lose connection sometime, so stay safe, but I'll try to stay until the end. Oh yeah, and then he also says, Morena from Rodale, California. Is that different?
Rodeo, he just did a typo.
Okay, and I'm on the road, so I might lose connection, but stay safe, and I'm here until the end if possible.
All right. Twice kind of the same message.
Yeah.
All right, what is Tamo, another one of our awesome Patreon, saying?
Tamo says, good evening, with a nice smiley face.
Nice, because he's in Estonia, so in Europe over there, it's the evening, it's Saturday evening for them.
And we have Mitchell Siernak, the Frozen 2 fan.
I think it's Siranke.
Siranke, okay. Saying, hey, Robin and Laura. That is quite the long username right there.
Yeah, that's a very long username. All right, next up we have Gadi Pastai that says, hi, can you drive at night in New Zealand? You of course can drive at night in New Zealand. It's very much allowed to drive at night in New Zealand. We have some videos of us actually driving at night in New Zealand. So yeah, feel free to plan some night drive in the country when planning your trip. However, be aware that you may want to drive slower and drive to the conditions as well, because at night, especially in winter, it gets quite frosty on the road in New Zealand, and also the roads in New Zealand are much less wide than a lot of other countries. They're usually narrow, there is gravel, there is a lot of bends, so just make sure that you drive to the conditions.
Yeah, and in cities there's of course street lamps and that sort of thing to illuminate the roads, but outside of cities, when you are sort of driving in the middle of nowhere, of course that is not available, so just be aware of that.
We have pistachio as well.
Pistachio.
I like that name. I'll give it a minute. We'll see. We'll
Okay.
see. I don't want to jump the gun straight away and give an award straight up, but there is an award for grab for the best username. So we'll see. We'll see if pistachio stick around for a little bit. They
If
may
you
get
think
it.
you've got the best username and you haven't put any comments in
Yeah.
the live chat right now, make sure that you do, because you could be in the running to win an amazing award.
All right. So pistachio is asking you a question, Laura. It says, "Is New Zealand definitely open for travel from the UK after May the 1st?"
Well, since the UK is part of the visa waiver countries to New Zealand, then yes, it is. You are available. The UK is able to go to New Zealand after May the 1st. So, yay, good times.
Yes, and so next week, the live session that we're going to be doing is going to be entirely dedicated to this border reopening stage, which basically allow most tourists to come back to New Zealand, which is really, really exciting. So make sure that you join next week as well. We'll go over all the stuff that you have to do when you come in the country and all that. And actually, if you watched the live session from last week, we also went over a lot of the paperwork that you have to do for coming to travel to New Zealand. So you may want to watch that. There's a lot in there. All the boring paperwork. We're here to cover all the exciting part of traveling, right? What paperwork do you have to fill to come to New Zealand? Okay, we have G. Ramakrishna that says, "Hi sir, I am from India. When you reopening borders, New Zealand work visa from India?"
So the borders opening for people that are wanting to apply for a work visa don't actually open until around October 2022. So that's the current dates at the moment. When there's more precise dates, because obviously October is just a month, and there have been a few changes to these dates for other stages of the borders reopening. If there are any other changes, we will let you guys know on this channel, so make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell.
Here you go. Gadi Pastal has a question for Laura and says, "Abel Tasman, can you still get into the water at the end of March?"
So the end of March is it's in autumn spring, going into winter. So you can get in the water, but it will be chilly, for sure. Probably better to just put your feet in, go for a little dip.
My answer
paddle.
will be, it depends on your tolerance to cold,
Yeah.
right? If you are one of my lovely friends from Finland, which are absolutely insane, and they can literally swim in the Nelson Lake National Park in the middle of winter and have no problem with that. Yes, you know who you are when I'm talking about you. They are absolutely insane. That is fine, you can do that. But some people are a little bit more afraid of the cold weather. But yeah, it definitely is getting colder at that time of the year.
Yeah. Would you get in the water in New Zealand in March?
I think I'll put my legs in the water. Yeah, for sure. Like to get in and out the kayak and everything like that. I don't think I will have a problem with that. But I don't think I will go for a big dip and swim.
Yeah, I don't think I'd go for a swim,
Yeah.
but fine putting your feet in.
Yeah. All right. So we also have Michelle C-Rank, the Frozen 2 fan. That nickname, I'm going to say it every time. Says, "How did Robin broke his arm at the Mount Manaya?" Well, there's a video about that, but how did I break my arm, Laura?
Well, it happened while going down some steps. So on the walking trail, there are some sections where you go up some steps, and the steps are kind of made with a lining of wood and then filled with gravel. And this lining of wood, when they get wet, sometimes they can be
Very slippery.
Pretty slippery. So as Robin was going down the stairs, maybe concentrating more on filming than where he was putting his feet, he lost his footing. He slipped on one of those wooden parts of the steps, and because he had his arm with one camera, he used his other wrist basically to break his fall, and all his weight goes onto that wrist, and that's how he broke his arm.
It is one of the funniest video I've ever edited, though. I really enjoyed doing the edit of that video. So yeah, if you guys haven't watched it, just type Mount Manaya on YouTube and then NZ Pocket Guide or something like that, and you'll be able to find that video just to watch us walk around. And then at some point, the proverbial turd hits the proverbial fan, and it happened. It happens. Okay, but it's good to see that you are such a big fan, Michelle. You know all our episodes. That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, Nathan Baith has something for you, Laura.
Nathan says, "Kia ora, morena, good morning, everyone."
Why is everybody saying morena? What does it mean, Laura?
Morena means, well, good morning in the Maori language, which is the indigenous language of New Zealand.
Sakshi Bat has a question and says, "Are you sure fresh student visa process will start in October?" Laura, are you sure? 100% sure?
Well, the New Zealand government has announced that is when processing for all visas that are basically that aren't included in the other stages of the borders reopening. So that does include student visas in October as well. Yeah, we're pretty sure that is when the processing will start for student visas. So yeah, October.
We are as sure as what the government is telling you. So
said,
depend how much you trust your government, mate. Whatever politician promises you believe, that is basically as sure as we are. There is a lot of comments right now, guys, but we're going one by one, so we'll get to it. Sorry, just really busy today. I love it.
Yeah.
I really like it. Christina Holden is one of our amazing Patreon subscriber, and what is she saying?
She says, Morena, hope all are well, getting over this stupid virus and feeling much better today.
Nice.
Oh, glad to hear.
I choose to believe that's the videos that we sent you, Christina, that made you feel all better, obviously. So, yeah, if you guys don't know, we are on Patreon. It's a great way to reward all our hard work. I have a Patreon, whatever slide here. Nice. So it's a great way to reward our hard work and to get yourself a lot of perks along the way. The perks that you can get when supporting us on Patreon include travel guides that will, they're PDF, so they're just things that we have never published before with our favorite place to do some activities and our favorite hidden gems. It's really cool. We can also help you plan your itinerary. You can send us your itinerary, which is what Christina has done this week actually, and Laura and I are working on that for her. You also get an extra 1 hour live session every single week, which is really awesome. And you have access to a secret Facebook group where you can hang out with us basically the entire week and ask us all your questions. So if you feel like this is worth the price of a cup of coffee a month, you may want to join us. And in the meantime, I'm going to say thank you to all 13 Patreons that we currently have. And that's Beverly, Tarmo, Fabio, and Clay, which are our producer level. And then we also have Anthony, Joey, David, Jaro, Natasha, Oriol, Sander, Hidden Hammock, and the amazing Christina. All right, yeah, let's go back to what we do for free. Where are we? Pistachio, say something.
You guys are legends. Using the letter R there, a nice throwback to the 90s. I like it.
Oh, shed has been thrown by Laura. Okay.
It's a compliment. I like it. Extreme Talauta says Morena. Morena, Extreme Talauta. And we have Christina Holden saying, haven't tried any of the pies, so harder to vote.
Okay, maybe you can vote for which one you think sounds the best. You know, sometimes, you know, it's more about what sounds more appetizing than what it actually is. We're talking about truck stop pies right here. It's not going to be the delicacy of the century. And I'm going to get a lot of hate mail out of that.
Unless you go to one of the speciality pie stalls of New Zealand, which maybe do a little bit of a
Which
better
Christina
job.
is driving through not during her trip. She's passing through Fairley, so you may want to stop at the Fairley Bakery, which is one of the highest awarded pie bakery in New Zealand, and you're going to be driving that, you know, when going all the way from Mount Cook. So yeah, check that out. Anyway, we'll talk about your itinerary later, Christina.
All right, we have
Kiwi Lauren.
Kiwi Lauren saying, where was Robin's fish pie on the list of options in the poll? Hi friends, I'm getting ready to go audition for a musical soon. Exciting.
Oh, nice. Break a leg. Is that what you say to people when they're about to audition? Yeah, break a leg.
Break a leg.
Yeah, good luck. Baby Burns
says, sup guys. Can't wait to see you.
Nice. This sub as well is another throwback from the 90s.
Yeah,
There you go.
It is.
We have a lot of 90s babies right here. I love it.
Mitchell, the Frozen fan, says...
The Frozen 2 fan. Doesn't like the first one.
No.
Mitchell hates Frozen 1. He just likes Frozen 2.
Yeah, I know. Frozen 2 was kind of underrepresented, I think. Favourite moment in New Plymouth?
Well, Laura's favourite moment is when I got my haircut, that's for sure. My favourite thing to do actually in New Plymouth was when we took a road trip and went to the Goblin Forest. That the hike was really, really cool. It's a bit further away from New Plymouth, but it's definitely a good drive out. Yeah.
I think for me, like, just actually exploring the town of New Plymouth was quite cool because it was very unexpected. Like, it was felt very different compared to other New Zealand towns. The city centre was quite cool. There was the Govert Brewster Art Gallery with that amazing sort of mirror building in the city centre. So yeah, just exploring the town was kind of cool and just felt really like it was just a really good surprise.
Yeah, I agree. I couldn't agree more. Robert says, regarding purchase in store or FPOS, the equivalent of Interac. I guess Interac's what you have in in Canada. So as long as it's a Visa, MasterCard, debit card, you can pay direct. There is no international transactional fee. And we are giving the market exchange rate with the usual 2.5% market built into the exchange rate. No exorbitant transaction fee, and most importantly, no delay in getting access to the cash. This may be something you want to consider, especially since the Global ATM Alliance includes many of the European Barclays, UK BNP Paribas, in France, Dutch Bank in Germany. So that is true. There is those agreements. So all those agreements that you are listing right here, it looks like you've been looking at the Westpac Bank, which is the bank that is actually having agreements with all those. BNZ has also agreements with BNP Paribas. So all that is true. However, the exchange rate themselves are actually very much not advantageous. So yeah, I tend to disagree with your statement that says that you get the market exchange rate. I disagree with that. From my experience, you absolutely do not get the market exchange rate. You get the bank's exchange rate, and you get the bank's exchange rate from your home country, not local. So yeah. But yeah, aside from that, yeah, you definitely can use a card, credit card, or Visa, MasterCard to pay for your purchases in New Zealand. Yes. Be also aware that if you do use an international card, it is up to the merchants if they do want to charge you an extra fee or not. They do have the right to input that if they feel like to, and some shops do it.
Yes.
Pistachio.
So, I'm coming to New Zealand from England for 3 weeks in May, and I'm 20 years old and travelling solo. What are your 5 most must-visit locations for me?
All right. Do you want me to get started?
Sure.
All right. You definitely, if you're 20 years old from England, you've got to go to Queenstown. I'm not a big fan of Queenstown personally, right? But that's kind of like the party area of New Zealand. This is where you're going to find a bunch of pommies partying and then having a right all night out.
Pommies, by the way, because I didn't know this until I came to New Zealand,
oh, yeah?
is what New Zealanders and Australians call people from England.
Okay. So anyway, your classic kind of English night out that you want to go party and everything like that, this is going to happen in Queenstown. It's definitely not my vibe, but there is no English 20-something that I wouldn't send in Queenstown to go party.
I went there when I was 22 and I loved it in Queenstown.
Here you go.
So...
my point.
Yeah, it's
so
cool.
that'd be number one. What's yours?
So otherwise, going around, New Zealand isn't just all about, well, obviously it's really not about the towns and the city vibe, though it is very much about the landscapes and seeing amazing places of nature. So one of those places I would suggest is the Tongariro National Park on the North Island. This is where you get to see some of the best volcanic landscapes in the country. One of the highlights is the Tongariro Crossing, which is a full-day hike over some volcanoes and really amazing landscapes and scenery on that walk. But if you're not really into full day hikes, there are much shorter walks that you can be doing in the area as well. So you can check out nzpocketguide.com and search things to do in the Tongariro National Park just to get some ideas of what to do in that area. Do you have another place?
Yeah, for sure. So I was about to show you the site as well. So there is plenty of other things to visit. We only had 2. The next one I will give you is Kaikoura. Kaikoura is kind of like your marine wildlife mecca of New Zealand. And yeah, there is amazing activities to do there, such as cruise to go see amazing seabirds, whale watching cruise, and what I usually rank as my favorite thing to do in New Zealand, which is seal swimming in Kaikoura. Yeah, while Laura is thinking about her number 4, I just want to show you NZ Pocket Guide right here. It's New Zealand's largest travel guide. And for example, if you want to get started, we have our 101 things to do in New Zealand right here. So you may want to check this out right away, and you know, make sure you tick as many as you want that are inspiring you. There's really a lot there. All right, Laura, number 4.
Okay, number 4 for me would be Franz Josef or Fox Glacier. Both towns are very close to each other, only 20 minutes apart. It's on the west coast of the South Island, and what's great about these places is, of course, their glaciers, where you can take a helicopter tour onto the glacier and do some hiking on the glacier with your crampons in a guided tour. It's a really cool experience going through ice caves and whatnot. But there's also other amazing walks and things to do in the area for free as well. If you're 20 years old, I'm sure that you haven't had your whole life to save up millions of pounds or dollars or whatever to be able to, you know, do everything in New Zealand. So we do think it's important to insert some free things to do in there as well, which all the places we've mentioned so far have some free things to do and walks to do there as well. Do you have a number
Yes,
5?
and the next one I will give you is Raglan. The reason why I want to send you in Raglan is because it's kind of like your hippie town of New Zealand. It's a very different vibe than the rest. You can try your hand at surfing, which, may be very foreign from you in England, where the sea is more dreary and cold and blah. But in New Zealand, you can do epic surfing in there. And on top of that, there is also some really epic things to do nearby. There is great canyoning, there is fantastic hikes, there is stunning waterfalls, and there is even a way you can kayak or paddleboard to some pancake rocks, which is really cool, and it's kind of really hidden gems of New Zealand. Plus nearby there are some places where you can check out glowworms, which is cool as well. So it's just 5 obviously that come up to our minds right now. There is way more to visit in New Zealand. Genuinely, there is ton of things to do in New Zealand, so make sure to check out NZ Pocket Guide, and feel free to ask us more questions if you're planning your trip. Alright guys, we're going back to live chat. I know you guys are asking us a lot of questions. We're going to go a little faster right now for the next few questions to try to catch up, because you guys are really active today and I love it.
Okay, Christina says, so Robert should joust since he is on his high horse. My husband comes out with crazy stuff sometimes.
Yeah, that's true, Robert. I feel like on top of your high horse, you shouldn't offer a sword or pistol fight. Yes. You should offer jousting. Barry is always in to have my back. I like it. Barry is Christina's husband.
Yeah.
Sakshi is saying, you guys have definitely been the best source of information for me since 2020. Wow. Established in 2020.
Yeah.
Best source of information for Sakshi Bat.
Yes.
Ta-ta-ta.
We are honoured. So we've done Robert's comments there already. So we'll move on to Michael saying, hi guys, it was my birthday 2 days ago.
Happy birthday, Michael! Mitchell is back.
Saying, what was the best hot pools experience in New Zealand?
We actually have a video of that on the channel, and there's an article on NZ Pocket Guide about that, but we're just going to pick one each, so like that's, we go over that. But yeah, definitely, I'll show you where to find that on the site after Laura picks her favorite.
Yeah, so mine is a little bit of a hidden gem. It's called the Moriri.
Oh, that's the one I was about to pick! Oh,
damn, you're going to have to think of something else.
That's okay.
So it's the Moriri Hot Springs, which can be found near the town of Wairoa. It's between Wairoa and Gisborne, which is on the east coast of the North Island. And yeah, this is really, it's a hidden gem hot springs, very affordable to go to. But what's really cool about it is that not only is it natural mineral hot springs, which is always a good thing, and another good thing about it is that it's within a really amazing sort of Nikau palm forest. So you're surrounded by beautiful nature.
All right, and for me, I'm going to show you quickly how to find our list of favorite hot pools. So you go on NZ Pocket Guide, you type hot pools right here in the search bar, and then you press enter, and you will get our favorite hot pools in the country. But if I have to pick one right now, and I'll pick one for very weird reason. So here's our favorite hot pools. Here's 5 free natural hot pools in Rotorua with Laura enjoying one of them. Okay, so I'm going to pick one of them, which is slightly different, and that's going to be the Franz Joseph Glacier hot pools, just because when you go up on the glacier and everything, you get quite cold, and so it's really nice afterwards to actually get onto the pool. So yeah, but here is some awesome hot pools for you to find on the site, so make sure to check that out. What's next, Laura?
We have Helen saying, good evening, Robin and Laura from England.
Hey,
Hello,
Helen. How are you doing?
And we have Gadi Pastal saying, thanks very much.
Sorry.
We just lost the message there. So thanks very much. What is the story of moving with rental car from island to island? Do people drop the car in Picton, for example, then rent again in Wellington? Now that is one of the options. Some rental car companies that have a lot of depots around the country do provide that as an option, which means that the ferry transfer is cheaper because it's cheaper as a passenger rather than a passenger and a car on the ferry. But then other car rental companies with a bit fewer rental depots around the country, which perhaps maybe only have a depot in Auckland and then one in Christchurch, for example. They allow rental cars, to go onto the ferry. You'll have to obviously pay for the car and the ferry and the passenger crossing. But yeah, by all means, it's something that is very popular and something that a lot of people do in New Zealand is take their rental vehicles onto the ferry. It's something that is widely done. So depends on which company you go for, basically.
All right. Then we do have Mitchell that says, favorite moment in Nelson. Favorite moment in Nelson was when we visited the Hans Jensen, the Hans Jensen jewelry store. Why does visiting a jewelry store is interesting? Well, because there is the One Ring maker. He's the guy that made all the props for the One Ring there in the Lord of the Rings movie. And he has the One Ring in many different sizes because, for example, they had to do really large one in order to do some close-up shots and all those kind of things. So there is a lot of props from the Lord of the Rings. It was really cool. What about yours, Laura?
For me, mine is going to the centre of New Zealand.
Oh my God, really?
Because it's one of those really... So New Zealand has a lot of really quirky attractions that are a bit like, why is this a thing? But it actually is quite a cool thing because once you get to the centre of New Zealand, it has amazing views of the town of Nelson. So it's a good short walk to do, but also it's just one of those funny things where you're like, I'm in the geographical centre of New Zealand and this is a thing. So yeah, that's a fun thing to do. But there are a lot of amazing things to do more around Nelson, usually like the Abel Tasman National Park, but that is still an hour's drive away. So when it comes to things actually within the town, the selection of things to do aren't that mind-blowing, but we still have some quite cool things to do listed on nzpocketguide.com, so make sure you check it out.
Nathan Bates says, what are some easy things to do in Christchurch City for a few days? Okay, we're going to give you 3 things to do that we really enjoy in Christchurch.
Easy things to do.
Easy. You can go to the Antarctic Centre. It's a very short drive, literally from the city centre. And you'll be able to check out some penguins, which is quite cool. And you'll be able to experience what life is in the Arctic when they lock you into a freezer. And I'm not making it up. And you also find a very interesting exhibition about the early exploration of the Arctic, which is really cool.
Okay.
Antarctic, yes.
Okay, something really easy to do is to explore the Botanic Gardens of Christchurch. It's very easy because in the centre of Christchurch, that's where it's located. It's free to go to. It's very huge, so you can't miss it. And yeah, there's a lot to see around there. Make sure you walk around quite a few different areas because there's quite a lot of different sections to the gardens.
All right. We also have the Otago Museum, which is literally next to the
Canterbury
Museum. Sorry. The Canterbury Museum, which is literally right next to the Christchurch Botanic Garden, and it's a free entry, so it's even easier because it's easy on your wallet.
Yes.
Here you go. Pun of the day. All right, Pistachio now is asking. Okay, Pistachio needs to get the award of the best name. That's it. That's
Okay,
happening.
do it.
Pistachio, you're having the best username of the week. All right, I like that name. I do like. You know what? I want the pistachio ice cream. Anyway,
Oh, yeah,
but
that'd be
not you pistachio, the actual pistachio flavor. This is becoming really weird.
Yes, it is.
Anyway, Pistachio says, so Patreon allow you guys to help me with my itinerary. Absolutely, yes. It's part of the perks that we provide on Patreon. There is a link in the description to our Patreon page where you can check the different levels of support that you can give us. And it's you pay monthly, so you can decide to stay with us for 2 months, and then you get all the information you want from us, and then you can leave, and it's absolutely fine. And yeah, feel free to ask Christina, Tamo, Joey, which are all on the live chat right now. No, Joey's not here actually. I haven't seen him yet. But yeah, Natasha as well is here. She's one of our Patreon. Feel free to ask them, and how much help we provide for the itinerary. But yeah, we definitely go through all the itinerary, provide all our notes and so on, and we also talk about them during the extra Patreon live session as well. So yeah, no, we help you really extensively with your itinerary, which is quite cool. And I enjoy doing that a lot. Nathan, what is Nathan saying?
Nathan says, what are some of your favourite highlights from the South Island?
Okay, we're going to have to be quick this time because damn, there is a lot of comments. So quick, what's your favourite thing in the South Island for this week?
This week it shall be Westport because, because there is some cool things to do nearby. There's the Charming Creek Walkway, a really epic walk through where there's used to be some mining history, but now there's lots of waterfalls, jungle, craziness going on there, and the Cape Foulwind Walkway where you can see some seals and a lighthouse.
My favorite things to do on the South Island this week is going to be to go to Haast because it's a gateway to the Mount Aspiring National Park, which is one of the national parks which is the least visited, I feel, in the country, and it has amazing, breathtaking sceneries without the crowds from all the other Fiordland National Park tracks and attractions. That'd be mine. It looks like I prepared this one, but I didn't even. But it felt like I prepared it. I was like,
Are you working for the tourism industry?
I don't know. I feel like I've read a brochure right here. Like I felt like I had the notes right here of a brochure that I was reading. It wasn't the case. I promise, guys. I'm not lying.
Okay, we have Extreme Taluta saying, "Where is the steak and cheese pie?"
The steak and cheese pie, mate. I didn't put the steak and cheese pie because I want to keep it to be able to have different flavors for next week. I'm going to do that for 2 weeks. I'm going to do this survey because I really want to see which one is going to get the highest amount of vote. So yeah, make sure that you vote for your favorite pie flavor right here. There's going to be different pie flavors next week coming up.
We have another one of our Patreons, Clay, saying,
Oh, yeah.
wow, arrived 13 minutes late and look how many comments already.
I know, it feels like the borders are about to reopen and we're talking about traveling. Look at that.
God.
This is, the excitement is simmering right here. We're really excited about next week, by the way.
Yeah, we've been waiting like 2.5 years for the New Zealand borders to open and for people to finally be interested in traveling in New Zealand again. So we're pretty stoked right now.
And speaking of next week, if you join us on Patreon this week, next week actually with the Patreon, we do something called the BOP. It's the border opening party. We've decided to hang out with them actually on Zoom so we can go back and forth and chat and everything like that. It's going to be really cool. We have some games planned and everything like that. So yeah, we're doing the BOP, border opening party. It's happening not this coming Monday, but the following one, so make sure to join us on Patreon so you can hang out with us on Zoom. It'll be fun. Gaddy Pastel has something for you, Laura.
Okay, Gaddy says, Laura and Robin, thanks very much. I plan to travel for 45 days from the 1st of the 3rd, 2023. Is there a difference in prices or crowd if I will start it in February? Thanks from Israel.
Oh, that's cool. I don't think we have anyone from Israel.
No,
I love it. Nice. Is there different price and crowds coming in February? You're coming to the tail end of summer, so you're still going to get the high prices and the crowd, but as it wanes, you will actually see a significant difference from the beginning of your trip to the end of your trip as the season wanes. So you're coming as when the season wanes. So if I was to give you an advice, I will say come to the tail end of February. You'll be better off coming toward the end of the month rather than the full month of February, as prices are going to start going lower and crowds are going to start to kind of even out. However, because of COVID, maybe there's going to be no one. I don't think so. I see like how the website is getting busier. I see even how all the questions here are getting busier. So I actually do think that tourism in New Zealand is going to recover quite fast. What's your take on that, Laura?
I think that the difference will be quite minimal between March and February. February is definitely one of the busiest months to travel in New Zealand. So there you may see more like the locals traveling as well. It usually falls into some of the summer holidays in New Zealand, is in the summer school holidays. So you might feel that there's a little bit more busy when you're going to the top tourist attractions in New Zealand. But as you'll find in New Zealand, it is a lot less populated than in other countries in the world, such as in Europe or the US or whatever. They're usually tourist attractions in those countries are usually very full, a lot of people. So you'll find in comparison, New Zealand is actually quite quiet. So that might not really bother you at all if you've ever visited those countries as well. So yeah, there'll be minor differences between the two. Perhaps if you're renting a car, for instance, that will be where there's more of a change. They might be a bit more expensive in February than it would be in March.
So yeah, she's right. That's why I was listening so intently. She's 100% right. Okay, Natasha Rodriguez, one of our amazing Patreon subscribers, she says, hi all, another busy Saturday for me, so I'll be in and out. I have a game prepared for the Patreon exclusive live session that I guarantee you're going to come in and play, but we'll see. Okay, Michael Stewart says,
geez, the people commenting are a bunch of piranhas?
They're not a bunch of piranhas. They're all keen with their question. Everybody's ready. Come and travel in New Zealand. It's awesome. We love it. Keep the questions coming, guys.
Clay says, I've heard of a piranha, Michael, but dang piranha? Lol.
Pistachio is asking me if I'm French. So I was born in France, yes, but I'm definitely Kiwi now. I spent almost as much time in New Zealand as I've spent in France, so here you go. But I do still sport a very strong accent. I worked and traveled in about 16 different countries, actually more now, and I still can't shake the accent off. So, I'm just going to still sound funny, but that is okay. I still share my knowledge with you. Don't panic.
Michael says, why am I getting censored if I ain't cussing?
I think, Michael, you are using a lot of different style of emojis, and as well as you are basically YouTube has some algorithm that checks if you are hustling other people in the chat or not, and you do mention a lot of people, and it's not always in the nicest way. So YouTube is actually checking if you are not, kind of just doing that, and that's basically what you're doing.
Pretty much with your next comment is kiss my peachy bottom.
Yeah, so just so you're aware, Michael, YouTube is going to give you a timeout. There is actually a warning on my screen right now that actually advised me to give you a timeout right now. So just so you're aware, even with your next comment to Robert. So just kind of keep it about traveling in New Zealand rather than mocking other commenters. That's always better. We're here to have a fun and safe community for everybody. And nobody kisses any peaches, despite how inclined Clay can be, because of we only talked about the border once. You don't have an excuse, Clay.
Yeah.
All right, Pistachio says,
will this live stream be available to view later?
Every single one of our live stream is available to view. It literally just takes the time of YouTube to process the video, which usually takes about 12 to 24 hours, and then they are live. If you actually go on our channel right now, you'll be able to find 173 of those live streams where we talk about traveling in New Zealand. But about 73 of those we're talking about the borders. But there is 100 before where we were talking about traveling in New Zealand, which was awesome.
Helen says, I'm good, thanks. What is your favourite thing to do in Auckland?
Okay, one favourite thing to do in Auckland, Laura?
Mine would be Rangitoto Island.
Oh, no! That was I hate you.
You should stop giving it to me first, Robin.
All right,
you should just
go for
take it. So yeah, Rangitoto Island is really easy to access from downtown Auckland. You just need to go to the big orange ferry building and take about a 30-minute ferry over to Auckland's newest volcanic island, which is Rangitoto Island. It's got a really nice, easy walk on there.
And it has this smell of a brand new car. It's just the newest. It smells so new and fresh.
Definitely what I was getting at. So it's about an hour up and an hour back down if you're going up to the summit. But on the way there are sidewalks to go explore some lava caves, which we definitely recommend. Some of those lava caves are easy to miss, so make sure you do have a good look around while you're doing that sidetrack. But yeah, really cool day trip from Auckland City.
Here you go. My favorite things to do in Auckland, therefore, is going to be a slight road trip out of the city to go to the Goat Island Marine Reserve. It's a fantastic place to visit just for a nice day out when the weather is nice in Auckland. And you'll be able to do some clear kayaking, which is a good way to see the marine sea life below without getting wet. Or you can do some snorkeling, which is the best way to experience it. Kelp forests, snappers, and all sorts of fishes. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, we had Clay saying... Clay saying, went to Deer Park Heights with the kids after breakfast in Queenstown, and that was great with the kids. Took photos at all the film locations, now just need to watch them. And Kiwi, who hasn't watched Lord of the Rings here, my God, that is a sin.
Share some photos on the Facebook group. You were supposed to actually post photos of breakfast, and then I guess...
Yeah, I want to know where did you end up going for breakfast? And yeah, Deer Park Heights has been closed for a while, but has finally reopened for people to go and visit and pay by the carload to get in there.
And so Deer Park High, which Lord of the Ring location is that?
And it is the Lord of the Ring location for when they're sort of doing a journey from Rohan to wherever they go. Like, I can't remember.
Wow, big fan of the Lord of the Rings right here.
It's getting to the point now where it's like I'm kind of losing touch with the different places. But yeah, they're doing a journey between Rohan and is it Minas Tirith? And and then you see the view of the Remarkables in Queenstown behind, and it's where this is where I'm rambling for too much now. It's where the wags or the sort of orcs with their dogs come and attack the group. Let's move on before I talk too much about the Lord of the Rings, because that can happen.
Fabio is here, or Oifab, or Oibaf in the chat. So Fabio is here, is one of our Patreon. He's actually the original Patreon. He's the one that hustled us to go on Patreon. And he says, hey guys, as always, I did not get a notification. Yeah, I mean... It's YouTube. Did you ring the bell? I think you said that last time. You ring the bell. I don't know what's going on.
There's also an option on our scheduled posts to set reminders. So there's a little button when you see it come up on your homepage on YouTube, or if you go onto our channel, there is, and it shows our most recent upcoming scheduled live sessions. There's a little button underneath to say set reminder. Surely that will work.
When I do that on other channel, it actually sends me an email, so I even get an email of it. So it's like you ask for it. Do it now.
Okay, so there's that as well.
So yeah.
We have Joskis saying, good afternoon from New Jersey, USA. Guys, great to see you. If I were to visit from a visa waiver country or a visitor stay for 3 months, how long before I may visit again for 3 months?
I don't think there's a restriction. I think you just have to leave and you can come back.
No, I think there is a restriction.
Is there?
I think it's 12 months. I'm not 100% sure. I think it's 12 within 12-month periods, but the best place to find that information is on immigration.gov. Sorry, let me say that again. On immigration.govt.nz, there is a visitor visa or visitor waiver section.
I'll put it on screen for you, mate.
Specifically for the US, so you just need to find that page, and that should tell you how many times you can visit New Zealand within how long a period it is before you can come back. I think it's 12 months, but again, make sure that you do double check that on immigration.govt.nz.
Yeah, I was checking that. You can answer another question. I'm just checking something.
Absolutely. So moving on to, we have Michael Stewart saying, Laura, Robin, what is your favourite cuss word to say? Well, we can't say it here or else YouTube would probably, block us, demonetize us, throw us in the gutter. You know how YouTube is with creators. So we can't really say right here. Gaddy says, very helpful. Thanks very much, both of you. You're very welcome, Gaddy. We have Fabio saying, Robin, tomorrow you will know if you are a little bit French or no French anymore, because Le Pen says all French men outside of France aren't French anymore.
Yeah, no matter what, if France goes that's far right, I probably wouldn't consider myself French anymore. Just to make that really clear. So yeah, I don't like to talk politics too much, but no thanks.
Yeah. Clay says, tut, 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 naughty boy. I don't know what that's in reference to, because there's a lot of naughty boy stuff happening right now.
All right, so Michael Stewart says, I'm not trying to offend anyone. I have autism, so sometimes I don't think before I act. That's all. It's okay, but I do feel like when your actions are actually public and it's displayed both on screen next to Laura as well as in the live chat and interact with other people, you do need to actually take the time to take a deep breath and actually think before you act, because it is public and it may affect other people. And that's why YouTube has those kind of policies, which we may agree or not agree with. It doesn't really matter. We try to give as much freedom as possible. He continues by saying, I'm always bullied because I'm autistic. No wonder why I have depression. I leave then. Again, we just ask you to not harass too much all the other people on the live chat. We don't ask you to leave. And I think that is not an unreasonable thing to ask. So, but you make your own decision and whatever is good for your mental health, and we will support that no matter what you choose. Fabio says, Clay, what about the border reopening? Clay, I had one shot today. I think we only talked about it once.
Yeah. We have Clay saying, love you, Fabio. Cheers, bro. I needed that. And then Fabio saying, fresh, stupid fingers.
Yeah, we've got Laura read it right.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for you, Joski, about the visitor visa. I can't find information like super easily right now, and since I'm trying to focus on live chat as well, you will have to contact Immigration New Zealand and check.
Yeah. JT says, we're planning our trip to New Zealand from Alaska in October/November for approximately a 3-week stay. We have passports, vaccinations and records. Do we need to apply for a visitor passport? So first of all, a passport is a different thing. That's the thing that you should have, a passport, your US passport, yes, you should have that to get into New Zealand. For a visitor, you're talking about the visitor declaration form, which is a thing that you need to do for coming into New Zealand nowadays. We do have our whole live show that we did last week was dedicated to the declaration form, which is this new form you need to fill concerning COVID-related stuff like your negative COVID test, your vaccination records, etc., etc. So that all that information needs to be inputted into the declaration form, and that is an online thing that you need to do before coming to New Zealand. So check out last week's live show about that, or you can head to nzpocketguide.com. And in the search bar, just search traveller declaration, and you'll see our full guide on that, which gives you all the details of what you need to do for filling out that form for coming to New Zealand.
All right, so Josuke was asking, how long can I stay as a visitor in New Zealand, as well as how many time can I get this visa waiver visitor visa to come to New Zealand and stay 3 months and go on and go so on. So on immigration.newzealand.govt.nz, that's the official Immigration New Zealand website, there is a page saying how long can I stay as a visitor. There is a bit of information about if you have a visitor visa, but Josuke comes from the US and doesn't need a visa. So if you didn't need to apply for a visa to travel to New Zealand, how long can I stay when I arrive? Here's what the page says. If you are a visa waiver visitor, you apply for an entry at the border by filling in your arrival card. We do have more information on arrival card, literally published this week on the channel. You will be allowed to stay for 3 months or 6 months if you are from the UK on this visit, and no more than 6 months in any 12 months period. So you could go in and out, but however, in a 12-month calendar year, you wouldn't be able to stay more than 6 months. So we will look at a date for your 3-month visa or 6-month visit will end. So if we, for example, that will be the 1st of July 2020 and count back 12 months from there, example, to 1st of July 2019. When they make sure that in that 12-month period between July the 2019th and July 2020, you will not be spending more than 6 months in New Zealand. That's how it works. So here's the information. And again, we always advise you to head to immigration.govt.nz for all your official information. Moving on, where are we at?
So we have Fabio saying, yeah, I used a set reminder thing, but it didn't work. So that sucks. But I guess that's a YouTube thing, really. Kiwi Lauren says, I've done the Skyline Gondola Luge in Rotorua a couple of times, but never in Queenstown. And I noticed that Queenstown has a night luge option. Have you ever tried it? And how was it?
We've done the luge in Queenstown. We haven't done it at night.
No.
Because the difference would be minor,
and actually,
let's be honest.
Rotorua does have a night luge as well. So I think the difference between, let's talk more about the difference between the night luge in Queenstown and the night luge in Rotorua. I think between the two, surprisingly, Queenstown looks like the better option for night luging because the lights do light up more of the tracks there because they are less tracks and they are more compact together. Yeah. So that's why it's sort of like you do have a little bit more options when you are doing night luge in Queenstown, but compared to Rotorua, they only put lights really on one or two of the trails, not all of the trails, and only one trail they'll do like multicolored lights, and then on another trail they'll just do like bright white lights. So it's not as sort of magical as it might look on the pictures. In Rotorua, it's only kind of like one or two of the trails that you can do. So between the two, if you want to do night luging, from all the research we've done in it, from all the experiences that we've heard about it, Queenstown seems like the better option in terms of night luge. But in terms of day luge, Rotorua is the better option because there are more trails, longer trails, and yeah, just sort of better, more fun trails.
All right. Make sure to hit the like button, by the way, guys. There's 20 of you guys watching. If you find what we're doing useful and answering all your questions, it's a great free way to reward all our hard work. Obviously, joining us on Patreon is even better, but, hitting the like button is always a nice free way to do that. Did you answer JT's questions?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So we are at Clay that is giving us his take on Deer Park Heights in Queenstown. So here's his classic Kiwi review. It's a little expensive, but worth it for the animals. And if you were a film nut, I guess. Much more than Lord of the Rings film there. I've actually watched, but no mention of any of the other movies on site. You just usually use the milk cow, the cash cow, sorry, and you milk it as much as you can. That's how it is. So talk about it, Lord of the Rings, you make money in New Zealand. That's usually how it is. What is Nathan having to say?
Nathan says, I'm going to Christchurch in July and staying near the city gardens, so we'll probably be walking through every day.
Oh, nice.
Hey, that makes it even easier to enjoy for you then. You were looking for easy things to do.
Super easy.
In Christchart, that is easy.
Don't forget the Canterbury Museum. Easy on your wallet.
Yes. Christina says, JT, you will also need a visa through the NZDT, which you can get with an app.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's another piece of paperwork. Yes, I should have mentioned that as well. So the NZDT is sort of like basically a levy that you have to pay before coming to New Zealand if you are from a visa waiver country. and coming from the US, that means you fall into that category. And again, in that previous live session I was talking about that we did last week, we covered a lot of information about the NZETA as well. We do have full videos on the channel explaining the NZETA, so you should go check that out. If you just search on YouTube NZETA NZ Pocket Guide, and we give full guides on what that is and what you need to do for it.
And you can also head to nzpocketguide.com, which has a lot of info for you.
Yes.
Okay, so Fabio says, if you want to come to New Zealand for a longer period than you are allowed, you can ask for a special visitor visa agreement. A friend of mine did that. He just sent something to immigration and they wanted a plan and a bank statement for sufficient funds. After a little bit of talking, he could stay for 1.5 years on a visitor visa only. So yeah, if you are from a visa waiver country and want to stay in New Zealand for more than 3 months, you can apply for different type of visas, which is basically essentially what Fabio's friend did. So you can do that if you don't want to just stick to the 3 months, but maybe try it for 3 months first and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Q Loren says, when I went down, I think there was a night option in Rotorua. Very fun during the day too, though. Yeah, the luge is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so JT says, thank you for your answer and channel. We look forward to watching your content. Do you know of any specific visitor-friendly events in late October, mid-November, or maybe season-specific events, farmer garden events, etc.? Well, so it's this specific year at the moment, right? A lot of the events are announced really last minute because of all the different level of COVID framework that we're currently dealing with. So a lot of events have had to be cancelled. So on NZ Pocket Guide, we do have a whole section about events. So I'll show you quickly. If you go on the site right here, and I put it on my screen, so actually I can use that damn website. I've been really silly right here. And you go on activities right here, and then when you go on city activities, you have nightlife right here. And here we talk a lot about all the different events. So that would be the section you want to go on to. And we talk about festivals as well and all this kind of thing on there. And so, yeah, just keep an eye on that page of the site. Right now, there's very little that has been announced for that late in the year, just because they're all are on a wait and see pattern and trying to see if there's going to be some cancellations or not. Anything to add, Laura? Or are you good?
No, we do. Oh, yes, we do have an article on nzpocketguide.com for the events for this year. If you just also within that events section,
two of them have already been cancelled in that article as well.
Okay. Well, yeah, we do have what.
It is a bit of a nightmare event at the moment.
But yeah, our event. Just check out that article. That is for 2022.
We try to update it as much as we can, but man, it's a bit of a nightmare at the moment. The events here. Kiwi Loren says, off to my audition. Again, break a leg. Thanks for the session today and see you next week. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Natasha says, see you guys. Have a good day. I'll watch the replay later. Now, come for the Patreon live session. I prepared some games. Nathan says, I'm joking, you do your life. Nathan says, do you have any ideas of food places in Christchurch? Laura, do you have any favorite food places in Christchurch that you really enjoy? There are a couple of markets in Christchurch, and that's always usually where I like to go get my food, just starting off, where I like to get my food. And if I can give you an option, which is a little bit far to go get yourself a croissant, but Christchurch is not too far from the town of Akaroa, which is a fantastic place to visit, even just for a weekend or for a couple of days when you're based in Christchurch. And in there, you'll be able to get some really cool French food, and it is the French town of New Zealand. So it's a bit more of a food excursion right here, but that can be quite nice. If you want more food tip as well, you may want to watch our 10 things to do in Christchurch with a local, which was done with a famous writer here in New Zealand, and it's a video on this channel, and he's sharing with us a lot of his favorite places to eat at. But Laura, I'm pretty sure, has some suggestions as well.
Yeah, so if you do take a look at our foodie guide to Christchurch, we do have a lot of recommendations on nzpocketguide.com for places to eat. It really depends on what sort of vibe you're looking for. If you're looking for more like New Zealand cuisine, good places to go are 27 Steps, which is on New Regent Street. There's also Gatherings, which is in Merivale. But if you are more into Asian food, then Christchurch has some really good sort of Asian cuisine there as well, such as Zen Sushi and Dumplings.
Zen Sushi.
Yeah, and also another popular place, not Asian, is Bacon Bros Burger in Christchurch as well.
I do like myself a good burger, I have to say.
I know. So yeah, it's kind of like it's a popular thing in New Zealand is getting gourmet burgers. People have heard of places like Ferg Burger in Queenstown. So if you want to get that sort of experience in Christchurch, then Bacon Bros Burgers is a really good option. And in terms of sort of street food type of experiences, you can go to the Littleton Farmers Market.
Yes.
Which happens is it Saturday or Sunday? I can't quite remember off the top.
I bet it's every weekend.
Every weekend, the Littleton Market is a good place to go. And there's also the Riverside Market it was called, next to in Christchurch city centre as well, which is it's open all week. It's all undercover.
Market by the Avon.
And it's and that has a lot of sort of more street food, like takeaway or small cafe type of food. So yeah, that is also a really good option. But yeah, check out our articles on nzpocketguide.com for foodie guide
and here's a recommendation from Clay, which has recently been to Christchurch. He says the Little High Eatery is great, and again, you can't beat the Riverside Market, which Laura was talking about, and that's what I was talking about as well. The markets are really cool over there. So yeah, I'd go for markets for sure. Okay, Clay also has a good business idea. He says, good to know. I mentioned the Lord of the Ring make money. Yeah, definitely. He says, I'm opening soon in Dunedin, Lord of the Ring pie restaurant by day, Lord of the Ring nightclub by night, featuring DG Lord of the Ring. DG Sauron, come on. Sauron behind the desk over there. I mean, honestly, that will make money. Fabio says he will invest. I did invest as well.
Yeah,
I definitely think it will make money.
I'd be there every night.
All right. Steve Changela is asking something.
Steve is down here, so saying, hi, Laura and Rob. I'm back. As always, thanks for being super informative. Missed you guys, and I've missed quite a lot of your live shows. Finally, the borders are opening. Can anyone travel to New Zealand? Yeah,
we're really excited that finally the borders are opening. So next week, we're going to have a whole live session dedicated to this new border reopening. But it's going to be people that are coming from a visitor waiver country. Visa
waiver.
No, okay, let me just restart. People that are coming from a visa waiver countries, which are listed, and we will list them next week. And there's I can actually put it on screen actually. Visa waiver countries, and so if you come from a visa waiver country, you will be able to come to New Zealand quarantine free, which is pretty exciting. I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna put that on screen quickly, the list of visa waiver countries, so you have them right here. So if you are from one of the countries right here, you'll be able to come into New Zealand starting on the 2nd of May. The 1st of May at 11:59 p.m. So the 2nd of May basically. And we're really excited to start welcoming tourists again. There's no quarantine required. You just have to do some pre-departure testing and do some testing when you are in New Zealand. When you enter at the airport, you'll be given a welcome pack with some tests and telling you what to do with them. So easy breezy. We're really excited about that. And welcome back. Let's start planning your trip together, Steve. All right. What else is on the live chat? Clay.
We have Clay saying, Pub on the Wharf does a great burger with the absolute best salad. We'll share it on Facebook later.
Nice.
Fabio says, someone might say people in New Zealand like burgers because New Zealand cuisine isn't that great. Well, I'm glad somebody said that. Nathan says, thanks for the options. You're very welcome, Nathan. I hope you enjoy the fabulous food that Christchurch has to offer. And then we have Fabio again saying...
Wait, before you read Fabio. Guys, sorry. 1 minute to vote on the poll, and then I'm closing it. So 1 minute to vote on the question of the day. What is your favorite type of pie in New Zealand? Come on, get in the live chat, get busy. Vote on the poll, and hit the like button as well. But vote on the poll. 1 minute. Go.
Fabio is having a joke with Clay, saying Steve's question is kind of when the borders will reopen. Take a shot, please.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. Yeah.
And then Nathan says, have a great and wonderful day. See you next week for a fun live travel show.
Oh, you did beat Anthony, but Anthony is having some connectivity issues right now. He warned early on today.
He got in there early by saying, stay safe and I'll see you at the end. Literally, before we even started the live show.
Yeah. So he make sure to slide in there, Anthony. That was good.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna close the poll of the day. Can you talk about the poll of the day for a second?
All right. So today's poll. Oh wait, we need to have a little jingle, guys.
Exactly. You do that. You do the singing.
Oh, I have to sing. Question of the day. Question of the day. Woohoo!
Yay! My singing is more enthusiastic, I have to say. All right, so we have a poll in the live chat right now, which we were asking you what's the best type of pie, and a lot of people have voted. 29 of you guys have voted today on your favorite type of pie, and the results are in. Best type of pie is butter chicken at 31%.
Oh, yeah.
Mince pie at 31%. It's actually a tie. It's a tie. Butter chicken or mince pie, I definitely have a favorite right here. I do not like mince pie.
Yeah.
Quite interesting. And then steak and pepper is at 24%, and pork and apple sauce is by far the last at 13%. So here you go. During your road trip in New Zealand, make sure that you grab yourself a butter chicken or a mince pie in one of the truck stop or gas station.
The people have spoken.
Yes. Next week we will do it again, and I'll do 4 different flavors, and I'm going to take the 4-1 which I got the most vote, and we're going to do a final round where we're going to get the actual best pie. Yes, that's true. I'm taking this pie stuff very seriously, guys.
You are.
Very seriously. All right. Clay says Burn Fabio. Steve says Easy Breezy is actually my nickname. Cool. Easy Breezy is your nickname.
Easy Breezy.
I like that. I like that as a nickname. You should change your YouTube name from Steve to Easy Breezy. Fabio says the correct emote should be heart. Yes, Clay. We're sharing only love right here. Yeah. Clay says our food is based on every other country's food. So, yeah, that's true. I mean, technically. But so Fabio is from Austria. What Austrian food do you have in New Zealand that we do? What Austrian food is? What is Austrian
there'll
food?
Be something somewhere. You know, you can find international food like really in the, really hidden away in New Zealand. But you do often find some really random sort of
Oh, do you have food from everywhere done worse in New Zealand for sure? Yeah. Wow.
Okay, on that
note. Fabio is laughing, and he says there's no Austrian food, so hey, here you go. Yeah. Anyway, that was obviously just a joke. The food in New Zealand can be quite good because they are different than back home. So here you go. It's always an experience.
And everyone's got to eat, so you might as well eat while you're in New Zealand.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise it's a weight loss experience. Your trip to New Zealand. That's not that fun. Anyway, jokes aside, thank you very much for joining us for an awesome 1-hour live session, guys. We talked a lot about traveling in New Zealand. I absolutely loved it. We were swamped with questions. We actually had to kind of try to catch up to answer all your questions about traveling. I absolutely genuinely love that. So I hope that next week is going to be the same. We have another hour to hang out with the Patreons literally coming right now. So if you feel like you want to join that, make sure to join Patreon as the logo is here. There's even going to be your face right here. You can send us your selfie, which is quite cool. So yeah, plenty of perks for you guys on Patreon, so join us then. We have 13 Patreons, so we really want to get one more to get away from that cursed number right here. And yeah, in the meantime, you all stay safe, as Anthony will say. What is Fabio saying? The last thing he's saying.
You are taking all the worst foods and combining it, some might say.
Oh my god, there is so much shade thrown. Kat says, don't forget to include the fish pie in the vote. Yes, it's on next week. So next week, there's going to be fish pie. In brackets, Robin's fish pie. Better be winning. I just want to say that. My fish pie is the best. And Laura, how dare she not say that my fish pie was the best? She's the absolute worst person in the world.
Why are we still talking about this?
Why are we still together after that much of an insult that you've done? I don't even know. I should leave.
He hasn't made me a fish pie since.
Yes. You won't get food. Laura is going to become thinner and thinner by the weeks right here because I'm not feeding her no more.
I don't think I could lose anymore.
Okay, so Clay says I expect the burn from Fabio, but not from you, Robin. Well, I'm just always here to just do the sneaky extra cut,
Sneaky stab.
Yeah, sneaky stab, and I'm like, oh, Fabio, how dare you, Fabio? That is terrible. Anyway. We are starting the live session for the Patreons right now. See you next time. Bye bye.
See you next week. Bye.